Hi everyone, this is Abdullah and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I will talk about one of the main internet content filtering and firewall. It is Microsoft Forefront Threat Management Gateway, TMG. So in this video I will talk about what is Forefront TMG, Forefront TMG primary features, Forefront TMG hardware and software requirements, then Forefront TMG installation with its configuration, finally Forefront TMG features. So what exactly is Forefront TMG? Way back when Microsoft had a product called the Internet Security and Acceleration ISA that is now called Forefront TMG. So basically TMG is a successor to ISA. TMG also provides limited inbound and outbound protections for organizations and helps you safely use internet resources. What I mean by that is, as users in global antics are using the internet, TMG will protect them from themselves by helping to make sure that the internet stays as a safe resource for the company to do businesses on. TMG is a multi-layer protection in a single product. There are many different features in TMG that can be combined together to form a full multi-layer security function, including web filtering, caching, the whole 9 yards. Some of the capabilities of TMG that are required: antics, including routing and remote access, including the creation of a VPN and proxy server; traditional firewall security features, including anti-malware protection and network performance; as an acceleration HTTP compression, and the acting as a caching server to improve internet connection performance. Now we move to Forefront TMG primary features, starting with firewall by having packet filtering, which is a simple yes or no to traffic based on certain rules you create. For example, a general IP address rule for a protocol rule. You could say yes or no, for example, an HTTP traffic. Next, we move to static inspection. Firewall: this is where the firewall is constantly monitoring conversations between these source and destination systems, and it maintains a look at the connection state. While it makes more advanced decisions about what to do with the traffic, a stateful inspection firewall helps to prevent spoof attacks because it knows when a particular session starts and when that session stops. In other words, it knows that connections are already valid and prevents the possibility for opening multiple sessions in the same name. Next, we move to application layer filtering. At the firewall level, this operates at a higher level in the ISO and OSI model. If you are familiar with that network model, and it can help yes or no decisions based on specific application needs and expectations. Now I'll move to application publishing. Forefront has the ability to publish application out to the internet. For example, Exchange and SharePoint internally use applications that are used by employees of the company. This application publishing feature includes authentication delegation, which allows TMG for credentials to a published web server. So basically allows the ability to have a single sign-on capability available on the services offering by the company. The user can sign in, for example, to a web server without being permitted to enter credentials a second time. Also, TMG provides web access, Outlook, SharePoint terminal services, and general web server publishing. This enables contact by mobile users for these key internet services. This feature does cross over a little bit with unified access gateway, and it's actually the source of some confusion about which product of choose for which situation. Now I'll be talking about VPN, site-to-site and remote access. Let's start. Forefront also provides virtual private network VPN capability in two different ways. First of all, you have capability to create site-to-site VPN, which connects branch offices with one another. Also, you can connect the entire network at the branch office to the network at the main office. For example, when you have a site-to-site VPN, the individual PCs in the branch office do not have to connect via VPN client. Why? This is because Forefront TMG is acting on their behalf. So when the traffic passes through the Forefront TMG, the site-to-site VPN is established by Forefront is the mechanism by which those machines hit the headquarters networks for those mobile users that might be set into Caribou or Starbucks or any other coffee shops. This is where the remote access VPN capability comes into play. This enables those mobile users secure, authenticated access to behind the firewall resources that they could otherwise not have access to from the public internet. Microsoft Forefront TMG 2010 is not supported on a domain controller. Before we start the installation, we have to look at the system requirements for the Forefront TMG. Here are some minimum hardware requirements to install Forefront TMG. Like for suppose, you should have a CPU with 64-bit processor, 1.86 GHz 2-core, with a memory of 2 GB and 2.5 GB availability space of hard disk, and finally network adapters. Now, the next here is the minimum software requirements to install Forefront TMG. In order to install Forefront TMG, you should have a Windows Server 2008 with a version of SP2 or R2 edition. It could be standard, enterprise, or data center. And with Windows roles and features, also you should install or add features like Microsoft Net Framework 3.5 SP1 from other software. So now here we see the welcome screen of Forefront TMG Gateway. We have many options. Just start with Run Installation Wizard. Now you will see new welcome screen appears for installing Forefront TMG Wizard. You will click on Next. Then it will give you the customer information, like for suppose username, what's the username do you want, what's the organization do you want, and the product key, product serial key, which is by default it's given by Microsoft Forefront TMG. Then you should click Next. Now here are the services scenario for doing setup for Forefront TMG. You should keep it the default one, which is Forefront TMG services and management. Here it is Forefront TMG management only, and here it is only for enterprise, like it is individual. So this one is the both the TMG services and management. By default keep it the first one, then click Next. The adapter will direct add the network interface card, while add range we have to specify the range, so we directly go to add adapter option. We already have 3 or more interfaces here connected to our server, which are area DMZ, local area, internet for external area, but we will go with local area, and we have the network details. Here we have the IP address for it, then click, and here you will see the start address and end address, then click on OK. And now you will see the address box, the start address and the end address, then click on Next. Now you will see the services warning, the services that will be restarted during installation for Forefront TMG. Then you have to click on Next. Then here is the starting of installation of Forefront TMG. Finally, the installation wizard is completed. Forefront TMG is installed on the PC, Windows Server 2008. Now we should tick the box to launch the Forefront TMG. Just click the finish button. Now we have to configure the Forefront TMG. As you can see, the starting wizard shows configure network settings. Just select it by clicking on it. Now the screen shows the network setup wizard. Just click on Next. After establishing your traffic for fire and identifying IP address range that belong to your network, it is time for you determine which network you will apply for TMG. The template you choose should match your current TMG for configuration and satisfy your network needs. So now let's us have a look on each of them. First of them is the Edge Firewall. It is a template assumes that you have 2 interfaces, one connected to internal network and one connected to external network. Usually the external network interface is the one connected directly to the internet through a router, for instance, but it can also be behind another firewall on that device. Most often the internal interface is network card configured by the default gateway. So let's go to 3-leg perimeter. It is a template. The 3-leg perimeter network can assist you in implementing a perimeter network, also known as demilitarized zone or DMZ. This perimeter network is used to securely expose resources that are shared by users coming from untrusted networks such as internet and trusted networks, TMG protected networks. This template involves settings up TMG with 3 network interface, 1 network adapter connected to the internet or external network, 1 is connected to internal network, and 3rd is connected to the perimeter network. The 3-leg perimeter network is not available fewer than 3 network interface on TMG. Now let's go the back firewall, the 3rd choice. This template scenario is involving black firewall template deployment on TMG between perimeters network and default internal network. TMG acts as back-end line of defense the internal resources. Another firewall is necessary between the external network and perimeter network. We use this scenario. We want to provide 2 lines of defense, also gain the following benefits with access and multiple layers of protection, and lastly and finally we have single network adapter. This template introduces a number of limitations on TMG functionality. The single network TMG has no concept of external network because it has only one network in interface, and the default gateway that connects you to anything belongs your own networks. It lies on the same network card, therefore all the networks available are localhost TMG itself, and internally all firewalls policies need to be created by using these elements and formed by scenario. Now for my implementation I will choose Edge Firewall. Then I'll click on Next. Now you will see the local area LAN settings. Here I will choose the local area network. This is the one I will choose. Next button. Here I'll choose the external area network. Then I click on Next. Then OK for confirmation. Then the secure configuration wizard appears to finish the settings of configuration. Now I have to configure system settings, the second option. Click on it, the wizard appears, then click on Next. Here by default you should use the identification, the work group, because I'm working on a server, and then I should click on Next. Then the completion of the host identification, it gives here the membership, the full host name. Then finally I should click on Finish. Finally I should configure deployment options. That I should click on it, the wizard appears, then I should click on Next button. Here is the TMG protection features. By default it is locked, so I should click on Next. Here I should use the basic level of participation. There are three types: basic, advanced, none. So in my implementation I'll use the basic one. Then I click on Next. Then here is the completion of deployment wizard. Here is the following settings. Then I should click on Finish button. Now it is done, so I should run the web access wizard now. Then I should click on Close. So now we have Forefront TMG tools that we will discuss in the following part. In Forefront TMG there are a lot of features. In this video I will try to show the main features. First of all, let's go with dashboard. The dashboard helps the administrator to have a brief look or summary on the whole system. For example, we have the alert sections here, system performance. Here is the system performance for the PC. We have the services that are being run by the PC. The second feature is the monitoring, where the administrator can view all the traffic that are being done by the system. These are the traffics running the software in a virtual machine, so we will not have all the traffics here. In real implementation scenario you will see all the traffic that users are trying to access. Here it is some of them because I'm using a Windows Server 2008 as a virtual machine. We have here the web access policy, which is a new feature for Forefront TMG, where the administrator can configure access policy to web or the internet. So at the right of the section we have a create access policy. Now click on it, we get the welcome wizard for it. We write the name for suppose POP3 block. Then I should click on Next button. Here action that to take when rule conditions are met. I should click on deny for my implementation. Now you see the rules that administrator, all bound traffic, select protocols, all bound traffic except selected. Then click on add button for adding protocols. Then expand the common protocols and select the POP3, add it, POP3 server, POP3s server. Then close the add protocol box. Then just remove the HTTP because we don't need it, we just need the POP3 to block it. Remove the HTTP. Then click on Next. Then here is the rules to apply for the traffic. Just click on add. Here I should go for network, expand the network. I should select local host and the internal. I should add them. Then close the box. Then click on Next button. Then here is the box for access rule destination. Then I should click on add. Expand the networks. I'll select the external network. I should add it. Next. Then you see the all users and at your right side you'll have the options to add, edit, remove users. These are the options. Here I'll click Next. Then here you will see the POP3 block, the action, the traffic. Here is the following configuration that I have selected. Then I'll click on Finish button to complete the access rule wizard, and which shows in my summary. Then I should click here apply to save the changes. Apply it, then press on OK. Now we have the other main feature, which is firewall policy. Here it is the protocols, which shows the protocols and the names that I have blocked it. Another feature is email policy, which shows the enable protection of threats. just click on configure email policy. You will see the wizard. Click on next. But as far as we are working on a virtual machine, this will not work here, but in real working life or implementation, it's a good new feature to configure the firewall on the email server. And finally, the last, we have troubleshooting feature. This tool will help the administrator to find the errors, the wrong configuration in the server, and fix them easily. Also the update center, where can the administrator easily update and get the latest version for the Microsoft. Finally, this is the end of my short video. I hope that you done something from it, and don't forget to like and share this video with your teammates, and also subscribe to my channel to get the latest video. And thank you for watching.